Well, hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name's Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your mindset, your life, your business, your body from where you are right now to be unstoppable. And there's a bit of road noise today because as a car just goes past, you are joining me on a walk. It's a Sunday morning here in Melbourne, Australia, and if I gave you a weather update, I could tell you that it's winter here. I'm wearing a mask. It's completely grey. I cannot see the sun at all, and there's a combination of fire smoke from people's indoor fires and just low gathering cloud cover. It's I'll say mid-morning. It's about 9 a.m. in the morning. I had a nice sleep in, and I wanted to talk to you today, something a little bit different. And I wanted to relate an Olympic story for you, and it's kind of my story with the Olympics and what it means to me, because right now it would have been day 2 of the Olympic competition in Tokyo if the Olympics hadn't been so disrupted by disrupted by COVID. So, now there's something random. There's an onion in the middle of someone's driveway. So I thought it might be poignant just to give my perspective on the Olympics. I loved the Olympics since I was a kid. I loved watching the Olympics. I mean, whether it's Winter Olympics or Summer Olympics, I still remember watching the ski jumping when I was a kid, and watching Eddie the Eagle, the UK ski jumper, doing his ski jumps. And if you want to watch a good movie that's quite funny and to hear his story, it's called Eddie the Eagle. It's got Hugh Jackman in it, who plays his coach. Really great movie, and just goes to show you what the Olympics can mean to some people. It's not about the medals, it's just about being at the Olympics. And I'm fortunate enough to be friends now with 4 Olympians, and 3 of them are gold medalists. And to hear their stories and to be able to see what they're like outside of the Olympics and the mindset that they take is truly remarkable. But that's only happened in the last few years for me, in getting to know these guys. And prior to that, back when I used to live in Bendigo, well, actually I just moved to Melbourne. Actually, that's not true. I've been in Melbourne for a while, because I'm talking about the year 2000 Olympics. But just prior to that, 1996, the Atlanta Olympics. And there was something about that year that really got me excited about the Olympics. And maybe it was because by then we knew that we were going to get them in Sydney. And I remember when we won the bid, and I don't remember the date, how far out you know that you're going to get it. But I remember saying to the girl's mum, who we were married at the time, and I said, you know what, if we get it at the Sydney Olympics, I said, we are going. We have to find a way to get there. And there was going to be a ballot and all that kind of stuff, but we managed to get there. But prior to that, 1996, there was one particular event that stood out to me as being the wow moment, and that was watching Michael Johnson, the 200 metre and 400 metre runner, and he was the world record holder. And to see him break the world records for the 200 and the 400 at the Atlanta Olympics was something truly, truly special. And I can still remember it. Remarkable feat of athleticism. And that's kind of what inspired me to desperately watch him when he came to Melbourne. Now, we didn't know it at the time. There was a chance that he was going to be racing, but there was also a chance that he wasn't going to be racing as well. and I managed to be able to get to the evening and watch him run, and that was truly amazing, as well as seeing Kathy Freeman run and win her Olympic gold medal as well, Australian 400 metre runner. But prior to that, so we found out that we were going to get the 2000 Olympics, and I'll never forget the day when when Mum and Dad were alive, and Mum gave me a call and she said, "I've got some news for you." And I said, "What's that?" And she said, "Your dad is going to be an Olympic torchbearer." And I said, "What?" I said, "How did that happen?" And so at the time, they were asking for people that lived in the area to nominate somebody in their community that had done great community work to be a torchbearer. So Dad was quite active in the Neighbourhood Watch community. So Neighbourhood Watch in Australia is I don't know, I'm assuming it still goes. It's not in my area, but it's basically a community-based program working with the police to keep the neighbourhood safe. And Dad had been quite active in that, and somebody in the committee had written a letter, and it was accepted, and Dad was to be a torchbearer. Now, keep in mind that the journey of the Olympic flame starts from Athens, and it goes all the way around the world. And the Dad was going to be a torchbearer in the territory of country Victoria, which is near, not too far, about a 30-minute drive or so from where he lived. So I'll never forget the day that we got to go there. Now, this was in the age of pre-digital photography for most of us. There was no photo on your cameras, on your phones or anything like that. So we had to use the old click shutter film type setup, and I remember us being strategically placed at different points throughout, and I think it was 500 metres, don't quote me, but I think it was about 500 metres to maybe a kilometre that they'd run, and that was truly, truly special, being there with Dad, my youngest. No, who was born then? No, my two weren't born, obviously. 2000, what am I thinking? And it was just a really, really special.
But that's, the one you listened to is
I just passed the client. She's talking on her phone. She didn't notice me. So a really, really special time. And one of the most special times in Dad's life. Now, at the time, Dad, you had the option of buying your torch, and Dad didn't want to buy the torch. And I said, you cannot not do this. So I ended up buying the torch for Dad. And when Dad passed, he left the torch to me. So I have the Sydney Olympic torch at home, sitting in its stand. It's a beautiful piece of work, really. It's a really lovely torch, but it's more what it means, because they're all individualised, and what it meant for Dad to be able to do that, and just really, really special. And when the Olympics were on, we managed to be successful in a number of different events in the ballot to go and see. For instance, we got to see the opening ceremony, but a dress rehearsal of the opening ceremony. Now, you wouldn't, so that was, I think I'm going to say a week beforehand, but you wouldn't believe that you would get 110,000 people there for a full dress rehearsal of the Olympic Games. Now, the only thing that was different was the athletes didn't come in, but instead what they did was they had school kids come in and do that, and they had school kids carry the torch, which was a bit special for them, and they don't show you how the cauldron is going to be lit because that needs to be a secret. And it was probably the most spectacular event I've ever been to in my life. It was so moving, so amazing, and we just loved it. And we managed to go to Weightlifting, because I really loved that. That was really disappointing. I found the atmosphere in the weightlifting was really disappointing. We did get to go to the beach volleyball. We didn't get to see Kerry and Natalie play, but we did get to see some other events, and that had probably the best atmosphere of anything, apart from the athletics, I guess, because it's a huge stadium, but amazing atmosphere there. We also went to a couple of athletics events, which was really special. We went to the synchronized swimming, which was really cool as well. And you might think, well, why would you want to go to see that? So much coordination and athleticism to be a synchronized swimmer. It's truly, truly amazing how hard they work and train. It's just mind-blowing. And I'm trying to think of what else we went to. We won some tickets to water polo, which actually clashed with another event, and we gave those to the relatives that we were staying with at the time. But it was just a truly amazing time to be alive, truly incredible time to be in Sydney and to be at the Olympic Stadium and the Olympic, I suppose, what do they call it out there, Homebush Bay, and just to have all the different activities out there. It was just incredible time to be there. We were really, really lucky. But as the games came to an end, I thought, you know what, I really want something special to remind me of the Olympics, a special piece of memorabilia. And as the games were coming to an end, things were being sold on eBay. Now, I'd never bought anything on eBay before, and I set up an eBay account and I started looking through there thinking, okay, what is there to buy? Because I wanted something that was really unique. So I was looking at the flags and signage and things like that. They were even selling like judges' chairs and that kind of stuff, like great big tall ones, like say for the tennis or the volleyball or that kind of stuff, really high ones, not really practical. And I thought, like some of these flags were like the flags that were on, like big street banners. So they would have been huge, like taller than the roof. I thought, no, it's not practical. I wanted something that I could display. And I was just looking through and I came across the Olympic podiums. So the gold, silver, bronze Olympic podiums that the medalists stand on when they're getting their medals. And I thought, ooh, now that would be special. And they were only selling two sets. And there was one set that was just sort of going bonkers and the other one was sort of close to it. And I thought, okay, I'm going to put in a bid. And keep in mind, this is the very first thing that I'm bidding for on eBay. So not really understanding how it all works. So I put in a bid and then bang, straight away, I get this communication that I've been outbid. I'm like, how does that work? How could somebody just do it so quickly? And then realizing that eBay allowed you to set up these auto bids so that if somebody bids you, I don't have to explain to you, I'm sure you've all bought stuff on eBay. So once I understood that, I thought, right, okay, so I pushed it out a little bit more. Again, outbid. Push it up a little bit more, again, outbid. Push it up a little bit more, again, outbid. I thought, oh, geez. Okay, so I worked out, all right, what's the maximum amount that I am prepared to spend on this? And I thought, okay, here it is. I won't tell you how much it was. It'll probably blow your mind. So I put in the amount and I was all of a sudden, first time I did that, I thought, okay, so here it is. And it was outbid within like a day or something. I thought, right, that's it. I'm going to get these things. So I said, what's the absolute maximum I would do? So I came up with that number and I was the winning bid. And that was like that for a few days. But then after I'd put in the bid, I realised something very unique. Now keep in mind that these are the Australian Olympic Games. The games haven't even finished yet, but some of the events have, and they've obviously put these things, on sale. So so I looked at the bids each day and thinking, okay, how much is it going up by, and how much is it, how much are people getting closer and stuff, and in terms of, as I put my maximum auto bid on, and it was creeping up, and it was getting down to the last few hours. And then what I had realised a few days before was that, okay, so these are Australian Olympic Games, Australian podiums, but there's one huge but. The bidding dollars were in US dollars. Now, this was at a time when the US dollars were, it was around 60 cents, something like that. So virtually double. So keep in mind that I'd put in my absolute maximum bid, and if I won it, it was going to be about double. So I'm watching it as it's counting down the minutes and minutes, and it's getting closer and closer. And then right on, the auction runs out, and I get a notification. You've been successful in buying the Olympic podiums. So I had mixed emotions. I thought, that's amazing, but no, that's now double what I thought it was going to be, which I had prepared Angela for. But anyway, so we won them. It wasn't like we couldn't afford them. It was just like it was more than I was thinking at the time. So yeah, it was a bit of a shock. But then when the final result came through, somebody had actually put in the exact same dollar as me, but because I was early with my bid, they lost out. In hindsight, they should have done it that and $1, and they would have got it. But anyway, the Olympic podiums from Sydney 2000, gold, silver and bronze, sit in my house, and they are my proudest Olympic piece of memorabilia, along with my dad's torch. So we've got a bit of an Olympic room set up where we've got the podiums, and we've got the pictures of the events that we went to, and dad's torch as well. And I was fortunate enough to be able to get a torch for the 2006 Commonwealth Games when they came. Well, they were called a baton, there's no flame with those. When that came to Melbourne. So I played a big part in the Commonwealth Games there, by volunteering through work, and because RACV was a sponsor at the time, so I got to volunteer for a few days, 3 days actually, doing duties for the Commonwealth Games, which was really cool. Got to meet some athletes and stuff, and I was also a St John Ambulance volunteer, and I managed to work at a few different events as well. So really cool. So I think there's something about the Olympic Games, like it's the world's biggest event. It's just a truly, truly remarkable event to go to if you have an opportunity to ever go to it. It's incredible to watch on TV. It's really amazing. Like I like some of the sports that they don't show a lot of. For instance, the archery. I think the archery is incredible. When you see that behind the arrow view and hitting the target, and you see it kind of go in a big arc, and it's going like 70 or 90 meters or something like that, and it gets down to the end target, and like within a 5-10 centimeter radius, you're hitting a target right in the center of it. I was like, man, that is incredible. I think for me now, the older I get, I look for the story behind the medal. And it's not even necessarily a medal. Like if you look at Eddie the Eagle, for instance, what he was able to achieve against so many different odds. And just watch the movie. It's a funny movie. It's really worth a look. It's just an inspirational message as to what someone can do if they really set their mind to it and say, do you know what? No matter what comes my way, if you want to stop me from doing it, I will find a way to achieve what it is that I want to achieve. Because the Olympics is about participation. It's not about the medals. obviously that's a key part in how we measure the success of our countries and stuff, but it's so much more than that. And when you understand the mindset that it takes to just get to the Olympics, and then if every single person, whether they win a medal or not, has a backstory as to how they got there and why they are where they are. Some of it's obviously talent, but more so, it's the strong mindset. It's the incredibly focused attitude to get from where they are right now to standing on top of that podium with a gold medal around their neck, or to just get there and compete. Because remember, for some people, it's just, I just want to say that I went to the Olympic Games. I want to be able to compete at my sport at the highest level possible. And to me, that's success for me. And that's remarkable, because I haven't been to the Olympics. I've watched it, but I'm not an Olympian. And I imagine that that is an incredible feeling that no one can ever take away. No one can ever take that away from you. So today was a story about my Olympic podiums and my dad's torch and what it means to me. And every time that I look at the podiums, I think of Dad. And I think of now the other Olympic athletes that I know that won a gold medal and perhaps stood on these very podiums to have their medal placed around their neck. And I think how special it is to have this unique piece of history at a time in Australia's life when it just meant so much. So it's not the actual podiums themselves, it's what everything about those podiums mean to me. It's really, really impactful. And yeah, I try and forget about how much they cost. So why don't you take a moment out and maybe jump on YouTube and look up your favourite Olympic event and do a search on maybe your favourite Olympic athlete or favourite Olympic gold medal moment. If you want a really classic one, I mean, obviously there's the Usain Bolt ones, which are incredible. Google Michael Johnson as well and have a look at his 200 and 400 metre world records in 1996. Look at Kathy Freeman. Like, man, just have a look at your favourite sport. Have a look at some archery, weightlifting. You know, it's all truly remarkable human feats, and see what inspiration you can draw from that. All right, you have a great day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you tomorrow.